Hey there, crew. We're going to be setting up our month of May inside of our planner stack. I don't actually think I've ever talked about my planner stack before because, well, before I've never had really a planner stack, but this year, trying a lot of different stuff as you've been seeing as we've been setting up. The biggest change really is the fact that I'm using a bullet journal in conjunction with my task planner. But something new that I added to the stack this year is actually the Antou work journal. This is a really cool modular system that you can use. It's all magnetic. So you have these magnetic bindings that magnetize inside of here, and it's a great size. I was a part of kind of the kickoff. This was on Kickstarter, and then now it's available over on their website, and I love using it. So we'll be talking about how I use this for YouTube planning later on in the video. But what we'll be doing first today is actually setting up our month inside of our task planner, as well as setting up our month inside of our bullet journal. We have a few maintenance things that we need to keep up on inside of our bullet journal, specifically our social trackers. We'll be looking at that. Also setting up our monthly overview, our top priorities, and our section for intentions and reflection. And then we'll be getting into the rest when we talk about setting up that Antou work planner, like I mentioned, that I use for YouTube video planning. My normal approach to my monthly overview page is something I really love inside of this task planner. This is from Appointed, is that it gives me this really large calendar space here. And what I've been doing this entire year is setting up my tasks, kind of my big overviews, into 2-week sprints. This is something that I learned from Rachel in theory, and she talked about this, and I've absolutely loved it. It gives me a really great focus for a 2-week time period versus just worrying about like 1 week at a time. And I really love it. So everything this month went well. So we'll be setting up another one for this upcoming month as we get into the month of May here. Some of the big things that I'm really going to try to focus on this upcoming month have to do with a lot of work priority pieces. As I've mentioned before, my bullet journal, my planners are used primarily for work. I do keep some personal things inside of here, but I don't have a lot of personal things really going on. So a lot of everything just ends up inside of here. So what I do to kind of set myself up is over in the Saturday space. Since I don't really use my journals a lot on the weekends because it's mostly for work, what I've done this time around is I've gone ahead and just taken this grid sticky note, I've cut it in half, and then I used some little sticky glue to stick it on here so I have that to go. So what we'll be doing is just setting this up for the priority for the next 2 weeks of May, and then in our next update when we go through it, we'll be doing that again for the following 2 weeks. So that's a great way to kind of look at the cadence of how I'll be handling this. I have a number of things that are already on my calendar here, which will just take week to week over into my weeklies. But let's go ahead and just set this up real quick. Today I'm actually going to be using, I was going through my stamps as I was gathering a few things for today because we'll be doing a cool coffee theme later on inside of our bullet journal. And I forgot that I had this. This is actually from Appointed. This is something that they sent out a bit ago. So cool, right? It's an entire stamp planning set. It has a clock inside of here, a calendar, a week. It also has some dots as well as this really cool grid, and it's all acrylic. It comes in this acrylic case as well. Everything's nice and protected inside of here. We're going to be using this one, but if you're interested, this kit here is $48. It's really nice and beautiful if you're interested in using that. And don't forget, you can also use my discount code, which is Men Who Bullet, over on the Appointed website and get 15% off. That'll also count for the planners too, and I'll mention this while I'm inking this up and talking through this, is that I just got an email from them that said that their mid-year planners are about to come out. So these cover you from August and through July of the following year. So that'll be through July of 2024. It's a bit of like an academic calendar that it's based off of, but the planners themselves are not necessarily just for academia. So if you're not in school, college, high school, you can use these for work as well. You're just kind of getting on board halfway through the year versus waiting until December or January to then get set up for the next year. So not a terrible way to look at it. It all works the same. You're just getting them at a different period in time versus at the beginning of the year, you're getting it halfway through the year. So really like using this. I've talked about this before. I have this really fantastic stamp chamois, which I can just easily clean off my stamps as I'm using them. And I feel really good about it. I love it. And it's getting nice and dirty, which means that it's working well, but the ink doesn't like come off of it. And I just sit it on here because it's wet and I don't want it to get anywhere else. One thing I love to talk about in these planners is like how I'm using my journal for work. So as I mentioned, I have a 2-week sprint where I'm working on 3 to 4 different things. This stamp itself had 5 on it, and I'm really just going to use 4 because I have like 4 main things that I'm paying attention to. So over the next 2 weeks, I'll be focused on setting up a project template. I've been working on something for a little bit, finally getting that out and getting some reviews from my teammates to see if that's something that can work for them. Also be working on a Miro organization, just getting our entire space in a good spot. I also have a bunch of capacity data that I need to get into some type of a form to show graphs for year over year. I've been collecting it, but time to turn it into something great. And then also really excited because I just got an enterprise tool approved after working on that since last September. So I have to get that in place and ready to go for everyone else. This entire weekly then will feed into our weekly overviews that we have here. So I have a number of things inside of here. I'll fill this out on my own, just a bunch of migrated tasks from the previous week. But that's what we're going to do inside of our planner here. So that'll be everything. All right, so the next thing we'll be paying attention to is my tried and true bullet journal. I will never move away from using a bullet journal. I'm telling you, I love it so much. It just works so well for me. So as we go to set up the month for May, the monthly overview, what I'll be doing is taking anything that's inside of my future log, and we'll go ahead and migrate into that overview for us just to get everything on there. Mostly have birthdays and an event that'll be going on. Before we go ahead and get into that, I'm actually going to go ahead and fill out my social media trackers. So I have two of them that I'm keeping right now. The first is the Instagram tracker. So we actually filled this one out. It's all done. We bypassed 22.7 thousand, and I've gone ahead and created a new one, and I just mark it on here. I'm done with this page, and I also like to put a little thing here where it's going. I have it in my index, but easy add a reference. Page 41 is where that is. This is my new Instagram tracker. So we're currently teetering between 22.8 and 22.9, but if I hit it, I just put it down there. So that happened on the 20th of April. And then, you lose like 10 followers and it goes back down and then you gain 15. It's a never ending battle. So when I hit it, I'm just like, yep, I hit that. It might teeter a little bit, but that's okay. But we haven't moved past there just yet, working towards 23,000, which is pretty damn exciting. The big one for me is definitely the YouTube tracker. It's something I've been paying a lot of attention to this year and really going through. This month has been definitely different than the past. January, February, I was doing about 10, 11 videos a month. I had 8 in March, and this will actually be my 6th. So I've slowed down a little bit. A few reasons for that, mostly from the fact that we're doing construction in the house and it's always very loud. And even the evenings I'm doing family stuff, so I can't always get to filming a lot of videos during this time, which is totally okay. Not a problem whatsoever, but just one of those things that I'm like, hey, I've definitely slowed down. I'm aware that I have, and getting back into things. So as of right now, really excited because we hit a big milestone of hitting, kind of that big number. 15,000 is my goal this year, but we're currently at 14,150 subscribers, which is amazing. And thanks to everyone who's watching that is a subscriber. It means a lot to me and the channel, kind of showing, hey, things are growing and people are liking what's going on. What I'll also be doing is throughout the month of May, I just put a tally every time I release a video. I haven't released any just yet because we're still in the month of April right now, but I will show you in my YouTube tracker in the Antou Notebook exactly what's coming up. So you get a little sneak peek before anybody else does. Real quick, just an overview of April. I had my top priorities. I've got my health survey out, which worked out really well. We did our Figma renewal, fantastic. The Q1 projects deck is something that I'm finishing up as we speak to get that out. We're a little bit past Q1 at this point now, a little further in the Q2 that I wanted to, but just been working on that with other things to get that out. I have my intentions for the month and filled this out. And really my big focus this month was just to get up on a lot of my admin, design operation things that I wanted to get into. There's just a lot of things to take on, and a lot of those we actually just talked about in my other planner that I've been focusing on. So already putting those things into play and continuing through. I don't like to do my reflection until it's the actual end of the month. I know it's like, 2 days away at this point, but I still like to wait and just, really wait till it's done and then really reflect on the entire month. So we'll be setting up something similar on this page here, but this month I decided to add a little bit of fun. We're going to create a theme for this month, and that's going to have a coffee theme. I have a few things in fun stationery that I just got recently, some cool like coffee flake steels. And while I was on Amazon, I found these really cool looking kind of like coffee splatters or drink splatters. So we'll be using these in conjunction with this monthly overview. It'll be a very similar setup to what we did previously, just a little bit of extra fun on here. For this today, we'll be using one of the distressed inks. This is ground espresso. I mean, it just makes sense, right? We're doing coffee themes, so love this nice dark color. This is distressed ink, so you can actually use this with a blending brush if you want, or you can use it as a regular stamp, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So I'll go ahead and set up our monthly overview over here on this side with our calendar and filling in some of those dates we had from our future log. And then I'll set up my sections over here for my top priorities, for my intentions, and for my reflections. All right, got myself a little bit of a trick up there. I was looking at the wrong calendar when I was setting up this month, and I wrote that the month ended on the 30th. It doesn't. May has 31 dates. And I only knew that because my niece's birthday is on the 31st. And I was like, how did a day disappear? So I got the rest of all kind of my high level events inside of here, at least of what I know is going on now. A lot of these are translated across multiple places. Some of these will be in my work calendar. Some of them are personal things that I have going on as well, or both. So I keep it here as a good reminder. I'll put these inside of my weeks as a reminder, but I like to start off the month in this space here. The few things that we'll be doing over here to have a little bit of fun with this week. The first thing is I'm going to be having some fun with some of these flake stickers, as well as using these little coffee spill ones that are here too. So what I'll do is I'll do a big coffee spill over here for May, and then we'll actually use this for our weekly setup real quick, just to keep that theme going through the week. And then what I'll do over here for the for the reflection, and for the priority, stick some of these. So these are cool flake stickers. They're essentially washi tape, really, when it comes down to it. And it has all of these super cool looking stamps that we're going to use here. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and do the coffee break here for the reflection. We'll go ahead and use this for the intention, has the book and a little carafe. And then I'll put this one over here for the top priorities. And then I'll put the rest of these away for now. We'll go ahead and just stick these on the page. I'll also get my stamp over here, and then I want to show you what I'm doing for my headers. I'm really excited about this ink. I'll go ahead and put all of the links for everything that I'm using inside of the descriptions down below. You can see, but we got our stickers over here. I always feel so bougie using the sticker tweezers here, but it's such a helpful tool. I didn't think I was going to use it as much as I have been, but like just to easily place those down. I don't have any fingernails to be able to pull those off, so it helps me get the sticker off. It helps me place it. I'm loving it. And then this ground espresso on the stamp. My goodness, that is cool looking. All right, so the big thing that I wanted to share with you today is the ink that I'm going to use. Anytime I can use ink inside of my journal, I want to do it. So this is a new one that I just got. It's from Platinum, and it's called Citrus Black. Here's what I love about this ink is that as I write with it, which you'll see in just a second, it's going to lay down in this like yellowy green kind of color. And then as it dries, it starts to turn black. And when it's done, it's not like fully like stark black, but it is really, really amazing. What I also really love about this container itself and these Platinum ones, and you may or may not be able to see it too well in the video, but hopefully you can. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can maybe see it a bit better. There we go. You can see it. This little guy right here. So this is actually used as your ink starts to run out when you start to use it to refill fountain pens. So you have your cap on, you turn it upside down and turn it back, and the ink stays in this reservoir here, and that way it makes it easier for you to pull your ink up. It's like this small little detail in something that normally I would never pay attention to. All right, so let's go ahead and get this in. I'm going to be using the Kakamori steel nib here. Love this dip pen. It's amazing, holds on to a great amount of ink, and I love the way it writes. So let's go ahead and get in and take a look at how cool this ink is. All right, so isn't that ink super cool? I love how it's like this bright color, and then like slowly over time, you start to see it get a little bit darker. So this is amazing. So what we'll do next is go ahead and set up a quick weekly using the same stamps over here, just a kind of real quick overview. And then we'll go ahead and get into the Antou book NOTA work planner for YouTube that I use. For this week inside of my bullet journal weekly, I'm just going to do a tried and true, which is it's going to have kind of a weekly overview over here on the left-hand side and just room for notes and tasks and daily logging. It's really what's been working for me, especially on weeks where I'm like, I need to do something a little bit more. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm actually just going to use this one here that gives me 5 days during the week. That's going to be 7 spaces up and then just one here at the top, and you can make it whatever you need to be it. I'll start with my pencil. We'll go in and we'll be using some more of our stamps and ink to set up this week, and then also having some more fun with that ink because I love the way that looks at the end. All right, and then we have just a quick weekly overview. We've got our dates, we've got our titles, we got this super cool ink. I'm such a fan of this. All right, so this is my Antou designs. This is my NOTA book. So they have a lot of different sizes, one smaller. This is the new one they just came out with. I think it's fantastic. I'll actually drop the link to my review of this in the descriptions below too, so you can check it out. It's pretty damn amazing. So I use this primarily for planning for YouTube and social media as a whole. So what's really cool about this notebook is that all of the bindings are magnetic. So if I take everything out of here, you just have this notebook here. And then what you do is you can use rubber bands. You can also set these up as travelers if you want. There's an elastic piece that you can just put kind of a traveler's notebook inside of, or your own papers, or they have templates that you can download. So it's pretty amazing. Again, all of that will be in the review video that I put, so you can check it out more. So I use this notebook primarily for YouTube as a whole. I jot down ideas that I might have, reviews, notes, kind of anything along there. And really what I've been doing with it is keeping things like creator series and ideas, different people that I want for my recreation videos. I have video ideas here that I'll use. And then my big thing really is all of my YouTube video tracking that I do. So I'll keep an entire month inside of here. So I thought, let's add that into my plan. I'm already doing that anyway. So why not have you join me in that? So what I'll do is this one's getting removed. I have all the videos that I went through this month. I'll go ahead and just archive that. In the back of my notebook here, I keep a new one. So here's the one for May. We'll just set that off to the side. Same thing with these papers too. We'll just kind of keep them all together. Those are just ongoing. This is new. What I really do love about the Antou notebook and the templates is that you can print them off. It takes a minor amount of just a real quick cut with a guillotine or any type of paper cutter to get it exactly as you need it. And this is the perfect planner for me. It's a nice Gantt chart. I have the entire month inside of here. So I'm doing this for May here. So starting here, and then I had to remind myself that 31 days, not 30. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and just write down all the videos that I know that I have for now. I have a few that I've been planning for and that are almost ready to go. And then what I can do is start to lay them out on my calendar. Just two things. One, lets me know, oh yeah, Mark, you said that you were going to publish that video that day, or you do already have a video that is going to be published that day. I actually like to use a pencil for this because I change my mind pretty often as I do these. So while the video itself might stay the same, where I put it in the month may change. So pencil is the way to go for me. All right, and then the way to do this, I really just think about how I'm releasing videos really. So one thing I'll be doing and updating my schedule is I'll be doing my Q&A video series I started, and I'll be doing those on Fridays. So my next one coming up later this week will be a video on my most hated bullet journal spread, a question from a viewer. And then the following week, there was a question on my motivation to use a bullet journal along with promoting other brands and affiliations and things like that. It's a very interesting one and a great question that I've already recorded. Now, what I'm doing is I'm switching up how I'm doing my weekly videos. Like I said, I used to do kind of bullet journal weeklies every single week, but instead I've decided to change that up. So my next one coming up on the 7th will be a review for the Archer and Olive Creative case that just came out, which I'm really excited about. I'll be looking into that. The following week, I will have a desk gem one. So I did an unboxing and then also got these really cool Hakoro dip pens. And there's a new feed that you can use with those, which makes a really big deal to me. And then the video I have after that is actually a really cool one from Stubby Pencils. This pencil is actually from Stubby Pencils. So they are a eco-friendly and sustainability stationery shop. So we'll be taking a look at a bunch of their stuff, and this is one of their pencils. So super cool. So that right there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The next 5 upcoming videos I have. And so what I usually do with that is just kind of draw a visual line out from here so I know where they're going to be and where they fall. And then when that video gets published, I go ahead and highlight it. So nothing's done just yet, but this is what we're looking at for right now. Then, once I have all of those together, I I just stack everything together. The binding's right here. It has the rubber band on it, so I just slide those in here really nice and easily, which is great. And then what's cool about this template is that it doesn't actually connect at the bottom and the top, just the top. So I can unfold this. I can actually take this out if I want. I do it often and stick it on like a whiteboard, and it's just open for me all the time because it's magnetic and it sticks anywhere. And then I have that set up on my desk. All right, May is so ready to go. We have our bullet journal set up both for our monthly overview as well as for our week here. We've set up our task planner, just getting ready for the next 2 weeks and focusing on these main projects. And then I was excited to add this in, of course, with the Antou book NOTA. That way we have our May YouTube schedule started. We still got a lot of stuff that we have to do for that, and we'll continue to fill it out. But I really appreciate you hanging out. And don't forget, if you are interested in more of these types of videos, we've got Q&As and other fun stuff. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'd love to have you as a part of the crew if you're not subscribed already. I actually found out recently that 75% of people watching these videos aren't subscribers. If you're checking out a few of these and you're liking what's going on, do yourself a favor, hit that subscribe button, and you help out the channel, you help it grow, as well as getting all this great content, right? We're putting out some good stuff and having some great fun. So appreciate you hanging out, and I'll check you next time. Happy planning.